Hello, everyone, and welcome to the G.I.O show, the show that stands for the Greatness Inward and Outward podcast. Today, I have a special guest with me, Andrea Bonavia. It's a pleasure to have you today, and we cannot wait to have you on the show and hear your story.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much again for inviting me. I mean, it's weird. Like, it was 2 years ago that you told me about this, and now you finally, put this through. So, like, I'm very happy for you.
You know, we've been teammates for a while, and you just keep coming back and coming back and coming back to Fullerton, and every time you just have a special feeling with these guys. And this year you spent a little bit with us when we were on that unbeaten streak. And how does it feel now being on this side of the line when you're all graduated and all of that?
I think it's a weird feeling. I would say, like, they don't really teach you how to be, on the other side. But, you gotta kind of just learn yourself how to deal with your life, your problems when you're not part of a team anymore. And I think that's what's been kind of struggle this year, or like the real challenge, because everything is, it's smooth, it's nice when you're part of a team, when you're part of like something almost bigger than you. But then, as I said, they don't really teach you how to do things when you're not playing the sport anymore, when you don't do the things that you love for so much. I mean, I'm 25. I think I played for 20 years. So yeah, it's a process, but it's been going well.
Yeah, that's incredible. For those of you guys who don't know, Andrea has been playing soccer all throughout his life, as he just said, for 20 years. And then he came to Fullerton after transferring from his school on the East Coast. And ever since being at Fullerton, he's played as a goalkeeper. I'm sure we're going to get into that later on in this interview. I just want to say that it always makes me smile whenever I see you again come back, because it's like I always looked up to you as my goalie when I was just coming in, 2 years ago. And now I'm here interviewing you in my apartment. And it's just how times have changed. And so it's really just beautiful to see.
I think it really is. Thank you again.
I want you to share with everyone. I know it's been a long journey from Italy to here. If you can give us a synopsis of how it's been and how you like the United States, how it is coming here, and just tell them a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm Andrea. I'm 25 years old and I'm Italian. I came to the United States in 2019. As you said, I studied for 1 year in South Carolina. I think the cultural shock wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be, because I really wanted to come here. So for me, it was, I just want to get away from home. I want to grow. I want to see what kind of person I am away from, my friends, my family. And I really want to keep playing soccer, and I want to study as well. So that's the whole reason for me to try this opportunity. I came to the United States in 2018. It's been 6-7 years now. And then I came to California in 2019. So since then, I studied at Cal State Fullerton. I finished my undergrad in 2021. I finished my master's degree in 2023. And I'm working. It went really, really fast. I can't lie, but it's been awesome so far. I loved America. That's the whole reason why I'm staying. Although I love my country too. I mean, I think Italy, it's a beautiful country. If you haven't been, you should really go. You should really go. Maybe one day I'll go back, because like, that's where my heart is. But I love America. I love every opportunity that this country has given me, and that's why I'm still here.
Wow. Well, that was a lot to unfold. I'd love to go into little aspects in there. I know you mentioned your master's degree. You mentioned coming here from Italy. What's a different culture in Italy compared to coming here? And why do you love America so much?
Well, I think they don't call it the land of the opportunities for no reason, right? When approaching the end of my high school, I knew that if I wanted to keep playing at a good level, I eventually had to quit school because there's no college athletics there. Or better, there's like two different systems. So like, they're not, in cooperation with each other like we have it here. The whole reason was, again, to keep playing at, a very good level, like a Division I level, while, pursuing my studying. Because I tried for 1 year at home, and I was playing at the 4th division in Italy, which is considered like semi-professional. I was under contract, and my team wouldn't care too much about me studying or not, because at the end of the day, I was part of the team. And at the same time, my professors didn't care so much that I was part of the team. So again, maybe I was missing some classes that I didn't want to miss, or maybe I was missing some trainings because of school that I didn't want to miss. And that's when I kind of started to get into, the scholarships and the college life in the US. So that's why I took that kind of leap of faith and tried this huge chance that I took 6 years ago.
Would you say it worked out?
Oh, better than what I could have ever imagined. Yeah, I can't lie. Like I really did it almost blindfolded because I really wanted to do it, and little did I know that I would have, one day like look back at it and be extremely grateful for how lucky I've been this past 6 years.
Where did this ambition to come here start from?
I think it's always been kind of from myself and a little bit from my parents too, because I come from a very small town, and especially my dad never wanted me to stay in that hometown. He never wanted me to do the same mistakes that he did. Of course, time are different now. Like he had to stay home for his parents and to deal with the business, but I didn't have the same burden on me. I could eventually just do what I thought it was better for me. He couldn't even play soccer. Growing up, I had the chance to play soccer. I think it was like both like a self-driven thing and also like a little bit pushed from my dad's side at least. Definitely not from my mom, because like if it was from my mom, I would have probably never left.
Okay.
But I think my dad misses me more than my mom.
Yeah. Where does your brother come into all this, and what did he want you to do?
I think my brother is actually the one person I miss the most. I think he's the person that I wouldn't want to live too far away in the future. I would for sure bring him here if I could. We are different in personalities, I would say, but I do really miss him. I love him, and he's younger than me, but I look up to him a lot. I think we got closer when I departed for the US, because I could see how much he was missing me. And I think that bonded us a lot more. And I'm not afraid to say that, like, every time I go back, even though I'm 25, he's 22, we still sleep in the same room, still sleep in the same like king size bed, because we enjoy each other so much that we want to spend as much time as possible together, and we can't really take that time for granted. And it was just here, so the day that I had to bring him to the airport, it was very sad.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Well, you're gonna get me choked up on this side. When you're in Italy and you're with your brother, what are some like hobbies that you guys do together that bring you guys closer?
So we have the chance to work together at my family coffee shop. So we didn't enjoy each other in the same workplace initially. When I was when we were younger, we would get on each other's nerves a little. But growing up, I think we got again very close. So now every time again we have a chance to either work together, go to the beach together, play soccer together. I feel like when we play together, it feels like that's when I know he's my brother. Like, even though we never really had a chance to play soccer together, like professionally, I feel like there is some sort of connection that happens that like you feel like, okay, those two are brothers. And then, like just the regular things, sharing maybe the same friends or like same companies. And I think he's the person that I talk to the most to when I'm far. I know that I have to eventually reply to him later today.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm very excited to see him in 2 weeks.
That's awesome. So you're gonna be going back to Italy?
I am gonna be in Italy for at least a month now.
Okay, that's amazing. You mentioned before that you and your brother are so close and that you miss him, more than anything. How would you say that love is with him compared to your mom and dad? What's different? Like, what exactly is different about it?
I think even though he's younger than me, I look up to him as one of the bravest and most courageous person that I know, because he's been through way more than I have. And as he grew up now, and like I really think that like had I been facing the same challenges that he had, I don't know if I would be able to stand on my feet as much as he had, like as much as he is right now. And he loves him in a different way, of course, than my mom or my dad, because like of course my mom is more, I want to say, emotional, and like he loves me to like her deepest. Well, maybe my brother can share the same feelings, but I feel like it all comes down to like what kind of love is your type, really. I feel like he's more private when it comes down to like his emotional side, but I know him very well. So like I know that like small things for him are like maybe huge for like other people. So when he shows me that, like I feel like I can never take a second for granted when it comes down to like sharing time with him. So yeah, like different personalities. For my mom at least, he's more similar to my dad. I'm more similar to my mom. But yeah, I think that's the main difference.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the way that you love your brother is the same way I love my brothers. And, the same thing that you said, that sometimes when you leave your loved one, or you leave your brother, your mom, your dad, in particular your brother this time, it's hard, but
I feel like a bad person.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel selfish sometimes when I leave home because it's always and I'm sure it could be the same for you. It's like as much as you love him, you kind of just have to live your own life, and sometimes it's not easy to like to face, like because a lot of people could see that as being extremely selfish. But like because they love you, they know that they know what's best for you. So that's why like they always kind of just let you go with like the open heart.
Yeah, love's so important, especially family. They always bring you back. They're not disappearing.
Oh,
they're not going anywhere.
Definitely not.
And with your brother, it's why do you think that when you leave somebody, you immediately like get closer? And we always take that time a little bit for granted, even if we don't want to. You said there that you felt a little bit closer once you were leaving your brother. And it's why can't we feel closer while they're already here? And it's a struggle that I have too when I'm with my brothers. It's like before I left to California, it's like, oh, we spent so much time together, and now I'm leaving, and now I want to talk to you more.
Yeah.
And it's why now I want to talk to you more when you were there.
That's true. Don't we say like something like we see the real value of things when we don't have it anymore, something like that. So, but you're right. I think we should be able to enjoy things more when we actually have them, rather than miss them when we don't have them anymore. But yeah, I think like it's a learning thing.
Yeah. Is there anyone in your family that you look up to a ton, or is there anyone who changed your life, or anyone outside of family who changed your life?
I feel like everyone changes your life, whether it's a little or it's a lot. It wouldn't be true to say that like there's people that like cross like that that you met in your life that didn't maybe change a little bit who you are, or like the path that you took. I like to think that you're the summary of like the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So
Okay.
you gotta be a little cautious with like who you choose to be around. But yeah, no, for sure, like there's been a ton of people that like has had a significant impact on my life. Of course, again, my family. They always supported me. They will always support me in all the decisions that I take, even the bad ones. My coaches, the one friend of mine that actually introduced me to the whole like being a student athlete. My friends back home that they always looked up to me as the one that lived their dreams, the one that had again the kind of the bravery to do that, to do what they wanted to do but they didn't. My friends here, I think you guys are awesome. You guys are my family when I'm not with my family, and always I can stress enough how grateful I am for all the people that I met in both my schools. Yeah, I think there's so many people that like has had a significant impact in my life.
Yeah, I like that answer. There's so many people that come in your life, whether for seasons, like I say, or for forever. And so there's so many people that come in, and for you not to forget any single one, it tells the kind of heart that you have, that you want to say thank you to those people. And
even the bad ones, really, because you're like the person you are, it's probably like the after effect of meeting those people too. And so you can't just be grateful for like the good ones.
Yeah, you learn the most when
you do learn the most when things aren't like always as good.
Yeah. And yeah, I can't agree more. I mean, I just wish there was no bad ones. I really do. And but that's our world. That's how it is. And and there's going to be bad ones, and you need to find ways to get over the hump and push through and find ways that are going to help you do that, whether that's reading books or talking to whatever friends that you have or family. And so, yeah, I agree. That's really, really important. In your life, is there anything now that you value that's different than you did when you were with family in Italy?
I think that, well, of course, like when you grow up, you may see, you may value different things. So, of course, what I would value now, which is my career, where I want to be in like 5 years or so, is different than what I was valuing like 10 years ago, or what I was valuing maybe like 2 years ago when I was still in college. So, I think what I value the most now is being fulfilled with my new job, with my current job, or with the job that I hopefully one day will get. I think I'm still missing that part, and I'm really, really focused on getting to that step again, into that position again, because I've lived almost in a dream for 5 years. I was waking up every day excited to being a student athlete, and it was again literally like living my dream. So I think what I'm looking at the moment would be again to kind of find that passion and self-fulfillment in my life that can just make me wake up in the morning extremely excited about everything.
So you still trying to find that fulfillment?
Yes,
Okay.
but I can probably say that like I'm closer. I'm definitely closer than what I was a month ago. And I feel like it's good when you see things kind of moving and you're like, okay, now it's not there yet, but like you see things.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it made me happy just to hear that you're getting closer to what you want. And at the end of the day, that's the most important. And I'm all for that. I think I'm fulfilled right now, but it's just everyone's always trying to find what they could be fulfilled in, because if it's not buying the new car, then that gets old. Then it's being a student athlete, and then you're done being a student athlete, and then it's just, what do I have left? And then you have a job, and then the job disappears. So it's just, what are you gonna find? And I'm excited for when you tell me I'm fulfilled. That's gonna be cool. When your personality was humble, and you also had an ego as a goalkeeper, and so when you move into this setting now of you trying to find fulfillment and you doing your job, how do you think your personality has changed between us being a student athlete for 5 years, you were doing your dream that you wanted, and then now you go into a job setting? Is it the same, or do you think your personality changes a little bit?
I think it's similar as far as being part of a team. As for now, like I've always been in my job projects, I've always been part of other teams. What my coworkers always tell me is that they can tell I've been an athlete because I like to be the best, and I strive for to be the best. But I like cooperation. I like to be part of a team. I'm not for being by myself. Never been, never will. So I think I wouldn't say it has changed a lot. I think it's more. It has been more like a smooth transition towards the workplace.
So why do you prefer a team more than yourself?
Because sometimes things will never be always good, and I feel like when you're part of a team, it's definitely easier to overcome bad moments or harshness. Yes, you can rely on yourself, and I think it's great if you can rely on yourself. That's like a strong base. But sometimes I think it's just better to be part of like something bigger than you.
Yeah.
Something to believe in.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I'm the same way. I mean, I was talking on another episode, and I was saying how a team's so important that I just can't do everything by myself. And if I try to, I'm gonna fail. And I rather find somebody who's not gonna fail and who knows what they're doing, and then adds another side of curiosity to the project. But I think since we've been in a team so long in soccer, it's hard to kind of then just step back and then just be alone. Even living by yourself is a little different.
It's so hard. Yeah, like I love being part of it of a team, because for those 2, 3, 4 hours you could just be with your friends, hang out with your friends, like shut down your brain. And like I feel like the second we stepped on that, I feel like all your kind of problems in life, they just like to me at least, they would just go away, and maybe you go back to that and they don't seem as bad anymore because you have your friends next to you. So that's what I always kind of seen the soccer part.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. In the beginning, you spoke about how being in the soccer room, you're close with your teammates, and being now away from your teammates, how you've changed as a person. But when you were with your teammates, you said something that was really cool, and it was you wanted to keep your circle of five. And you think that that tells you the most about yourself. And those five people around you, you could tell the type of person Andrea is by the people who hangs around. When you're in a team setting, how can you do that when you can't really pick those five because you're a team player? You have to be with 20, and if six of them are doing the wrong thing, how do you make sure that those six aren't identifying you?
Well, I think it's hard. I think that's when. Well, you might tell me more. You might tell me better because like because you've been the captain. I haven't, but I think what I can answer actually
I think you can.
by looking at what you did. I think what you're being great at was being able to see a team with a lot of different personalities and different cultures and different stories and get somewhat close to all of us. Of course, you might have had people that you hang out more or other people that you may hang out less, but you got close to all of us. You made sure that all of us had a voice in that locker room, and you made all of us really feel important, like feel like again part of something. And when people feel like they're part of something, they do like a lot for that something, So I think that's what you should do.
Well, that was good because the guests and the audience doesn't get to hear so much about what I do, and yeah, I appreciate it because now they get a little glimpse, but I know that you've done it a ton even when I wasn't there, of just even when I still go to those five people that probably are closer around you, I could probably tell they're Andrea's people. And I think it also comes with just you get to choose how much time you spend with each person.
Right.
And so at least that's for me how I've been able to do it is if I don't get along specifically that much with a person, then I'll just take a step back and I'll go hang out with Andrea for a couple hours, and that's who I'll maintain my time around. Yeah. I want to rewind and go back to your childhood when you were in Italy. And I want you to just think of when you were in your room, lights off, shoes under the bed, long onesie on, pajamas, get in your bed, little kid, think of yourself, you're 5 years old, you're 6, you're 7, you're 8. You get in bed, you put the sheets over you, and you say to yourself, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, and everything. What was Andrea's 8-year-old, 7-year-old dream?
So I think that when I see myself back at that age, there was always something that kind of comes back in my head, which is I think I was a terrible kid. I'm not gonna lie, at least for what my teacher at the kindergarten would tell me. She would tell my mom that I was never gonna make it out of my small town. Well, here I am. So I think yes, one thing that I had in the back of my mind was to make it out of there. So
check.
But I always wanted to be something that I could be proud of. Whether I was like 10 and I wanted eventually when I was going to be 20, I wanted to make that 10 years old boy like proud. Or when I was again 15, I was going to, think of how I would be like when I was 25. So like now. And yeah, I can confidently say that 15-year-old boy would be extremely proud of like the person that I'm right now. As far as like other goals, well, back then I wasn't even a goalkeeper, so I can't even say that I wanted to be the best goalkeeper in the world. I was a left winger, but not like huge dreams really. Very private with everything. I was very antisocial. I was scared of like meet new people. I would go to the park behind my grandma because I was super scared to like ask other kids to play with them. So she would ask for me, and of course that changed a lot, if you can tell. But yeah, I think the one dream that I had the most was to get out of my small hometown.
Yeah, that surprises me because I've seen how you are, how you act now, and it's really mature, honest, genuine. And so whenever I ask people their dreams or aspirations, they always have I want to be a singer. Like me, I wanted to be the next Bruno Mars. I wanted to be a soccer player. I want to be a soccer player still. People tell me, oh, I want to become the best lawyer. I want to, be a cook. And so for you not to pinpoint it down, it's really surprising because a lot of kids they see their role model and they're like, I want to do what he's doing. And so that's really nice to hear that if you were to look back and they see if they fulfilled your dream yet, that you did it. Because for me, if I look back, I'm like, the dream that I have now and the dream that I had when I was a little boy, they're still the same, but one means more than the other. And the one that means more is being a good person, being kind, being affectionate, being loving to all the people that I'm around. And when before it was, I want to be the best soccer player ever. I want to be Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, and be them. And so I'm still pushing towards that, still trying to chase my dream. But I can't say that that little boy dream that I had is fulfilled. So I just want to say that congratulations. That's pretty awesome.
I know that like that 15-year-old boy would be proud of me now, but I still have to chase that 35-year-old. So I'm just partially like fulfilled. If that makes it any different.
Okay, I get it.
So for like happy, sure, but there's still like a lot more to do. So otherwise I wouldn't grow anymore.
Yeah,
And just be happy with what I've done. There's still a lot more to do.
definitely. And what are some goals that you have that you maybe haven't told that you want to do in the future?
So okay, first of all, when I'll be 35, I want to make that 25-year-old very proud of like what I achieved in the next 10 years of my life. I want to again find that fulfillment in my life through my job that would just make me very happy to wake up every day. I want to, well, hopefully in the next 10 years, like have a beautiful family with kids and a wife that I love. Of course, that's definitely something different that I would have said like maybe 10 years ago. So
Yeah,
now I can say those things. But yeah, then of course I'm super excited for what's coming now. Since I'm moving down to San Diego, I want to take the best out of what was going to happen down there, and then we'll see.
that's awesome. And when I look at those goals, they sound so simple. Like I want to, and it's just the basics. It doesn't seem anything that's out of reach. I 100% think you could do anything. And the fact, why do you think that they're so simple?
I might go back to that, like I think in the last questions you have for me. So because I have it like kind of set up that way.
Oh,
For about the questions about greatness. I don't
okay.
want to like spoil it, but
Okay.
I'll save it for later.
Okay, we'll save it for later. Do you hold any grudges or dislikes or malice towards anyone that when you were trying to do your dreams that you had when you were a little boy and trying to reach them, or as you got into middle school, high school, college, facing people of different cultures, treating you a certain way or anything like that? Did you ever have any animosity in your heart towards people?
I think that everyone that knows me well knows that like of course I do get mad. I think that's human. I chose to not hold any grudges for the simple reason that every time that I get mad, and then if you talk to me like in an hour, I'll be completely fine. For the simple reason that like if I hold that grudge, that negative energy would just be such a burden for me that like I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste energies on like bad thoughts. It's so detrimental for anyone really. So everyone like maybe that's not. I could see like both the good and the bad about like not holding grudges. Because my brother told me all the time like, how do you just forget? Like I don't forget things, but I forgive quite easily because I don't want to hold that bad thought in my head. It's just like a waste for me.
Yeah, I can never do that. I agree, and it's just difficult. And I remember when I was younger, I would hold grudges, and ever since I saw maybe an Instagram reel, it made me feel stupid. And it was like there's no time for that, and then you realize how short life is, and
oh yeah, especially. Oh my god, yeah.
And I'd rather get to know that. I'd rather ask that person, well, why are you upset with me? And if you are holding a grudge against me, can you tell me why? Is there anything that I can do to make it better? And then I'll do some self-reflection and try to find ways that maybe can make that better. But I think too often people don't ask those questions, so then they just hold a grudge because it's better not have face-to-face.
They don't like to talk.
Yeah. And so that part's a little skewed by people, I think. I think people should... I know this is opinionated, but I think people should be able to talk like that and say, Andrea, what's going on? Like, why are you treating me this way? And I should be able to tell you, and we should be able to have a grown conversation.
Totally. You should never be like, first of all, like apologizing for like, say how you feel, number one. And I don't think I've ever judged anyone for being open with me and like tell me like certain things, because I know that like that's the best way to settle things. So I think that has been a great way to keep people in my life, like through communication, because maybe you might have argument with people, but if you don't have that open communication, both ways, and you might hold grudges on my side. So
Yeah, in your life so far, have you had any big downfalls or any big mistakes that you've made that you wish you maybe didn't, or any regret or anything like that?
I can luckily say that I didn't experience any like severe downfall, or that I did anything like bad to the point of like regretting that. All the bad experiences have been extremely thoughtful. Is that you say? Or like they taught me something
Okay.
more than like all the good things. Maybe if I can name one, without sticking necessarily to soccer, maybe it would be that, of course, there has been a time in my life where I just realized that like some people were not as good for me as I thought they were. It's not as nice because one day you wake up and you kind of just think and rethink and overthink about like the choices you made to, because at the end of the day you chose to be close to some people, and if those people hurt you for any reason, right, you kind of just question like the not just that decision, but you kind of start questioning like everything else. So you can just let that happen. It was a little hard, but like luckily it's not like something that like lasted for a long time. So I can again like very likely say that I didn't experience any traumatic downfall. Of course, there's things that like you wish you would have done, like the wish that things went slightly different. Of course, I wish that I could have been more successful coming into Fullerton. I wish that COVID never happened, and so you could play that season and so on. But I think my bottom line has always been, am I happy with the person that I am? Yes. Why would I wish for things to be different in the past if I'm happy with who I am right now?
Yeah, I think that's a mic drop. And so, yeah, I can agree. I can relate to you completely. And for me, I've had a lot of downfalls and I've had a lot of great things. And, each way it's finding a way to get out of it. And how can I improve what I messed up, or how can I improve what I already am doing well? And I think you hit the cherry right on the ice cream when you said, am I happy? And it's yes. And so if you're in this moment happy, it's great. Whatever has gone on, maybe some things weren't as great, but everything led to you to this moment to be happy and see life in a different perspective. Because each bad thing, I think, makes you see life differently every time. It's hard, even as a soccer player, when we were playing, at Titan Stadium, and you're down at losing a game and it's a downfall, it's a bad game, or you're on the bench and you think you should be playing. It's just another opportunity where you need to see life in a different perspective. I know that you had a starting season with Fullerton and you played every game and did everything you can. How was your transition from playing every game to not playing some games to playing games? And how were you able to manage your mental health with that?
Okay, I might have to correct you on that. I was supposed to have a starting season before COVID, and then COVID happened, and that was, kind of the downfall I mentioned. Then 2021 came. Well, you came in 2022 actually. It was different. You have some expectations for yourself, and you hold yourself to like the highest standard, and it's not as easy to be supportive of your team when you're not playing as much as you want it to be. So I think you just really have to like be a good teammate, and if it's not through like your achievements, like your personal achievements, you gotta learn how to be happy with like the team achievements, because you gotta start thinking, okay, the team is winning, I am the one that pushes them the most throughout the week. I'm the one that gets them kind of ready, to face the opponents on game day. That's the way I switched kind of my mind over the years, especially my last year.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And we all felt it. And you're still here. You put that there. I'm pushing my teammates every week for their opponents that they're going to play on the weekend, and they're going to be ready because I'm going hard as heck in training. And so how do you keep that when sometimes teammates don't care and they'll be like, well, he's going to be on the bench. So he's trying to, and when you don't get that respect that you're trying so hard and giving them all you have and preparing them, how do you also stay in that even keel mindset that you know what, it's okay? Is there something that you look at beyond soccer that you're like, it's okay? You know, life's bigger than soccer. Or what else do you try to see?
I think I always kind of just refer to all the people that would have wanted to be in my position that never had a chance to be in my position. So for me, not to be extremely, professional in all the aspects of being an athlete or a student athlete, it's a disrespect for them and for that little boy that was 10 years ago. So maybe it's not always nice to not being able to play when you think you should play. um but again, you just kind of have to remind yourself that you should be grateful for the things you have that they're giving to you, because there's a lot of people that would want to do them for free.
Yes.
Or paying, actually.
Yeah.
And you wanted to do those things in the first place, so don't forget that before coming to college you wanted to do those things. So why you're complaining about it now? Why are you not doing the best you could just because you're not playing? That doesn't really like.
Yeah. I think that's great input. I think the audience is gonna love hearing what your opinion on that, because I think that you're spreading a lot of light on people that go through the same scenario over and over. I've been through it tons of times in my career, and it's hard. And it's like human nature. It's selfish at the end of the day, and it's hard, and it's just how to still be selfless. I think oftentimes, not just relating to soccer, but society and the world just always pinpoints things negative. And it's not that I'm being pessimistic that I see everything negative. There's a lot of beautiful things in this world, but there also is a ton of negative. And I feel like social media puts it out there. And that's why I have this podcast to not be that social media outlet that's bad. And, as you grow older and you're now post soccer, was there a time where you wanted to go professional in soccer?
I think that it came through my mind. Actually, I think it was before coming to the US. I knew that I would have had a better chance going professionally had I stayed in Europe. But I've always put a lot of emphasis on, my studying, because I knew that soccer was not going to be forever. As far as, like a professional, like a career. Maybe, you can always coach and stuff, but like as far as, just playing, it can just be forever. And unluckily for me, I've always been good in school. So that's why it's always been very hard to say, okay, forget about the school. I want to be a professional soccer player. And maybe the society didn't help me in that part. If I had the chance to live two lives, maybe one life I would just, give it to soccer, and then one life I would just try to be as studious as I could. But yeah, I think back in Italy, I had definitely one moment where I thought about going professional, because I was again in the academy of a professional team, and then brought to the first team, and then I was like, maybe I should like try my best. Then things happen, and you get to the end of high school, and then that's when I came here. So I think I've always knew that coming here would have probably sacrificed being a professional soccer player as far as the Europe side, but maybe that's not always gonna be my end goal.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's interesting how you came with the European mindset for that question, because I know a lot of players, when you're 16, you're either going to make it or you don't. And so when you coming in with that mindset and saying, you know what, I'm going to come here for school, for soccer, but to get a scholarship and get my degree. You mentioned society, how society might have played a role in you not continuing in the U.S. Can you speak about that and why you didn't try in the U.S.?
Well, the main reason why I didn't try in the US was more so related to legal reasons. So if I wanted to be in the US, it could have only been if I was either, of course, sponsored by a team, but that was quietly impossible, or if I started to work right away in a field that I studied. So I knew that, like, because of my master's and what I've studied, I could stay 3 more years in the United States legally. So that's why I started to work right away. Do I wish I kept playing soccer a little bit more, even for fun? Yeah, for sure. I wish I just maybe join like a league for fun, which I started doing like recently actually, and I could see totally
Yeah.
my change in mood is just it's just like helped me a lot really because I miss playing soccer. I really do. But now that I play like maybe once or twice a week, it's really like it's more fun. Like even if it's really just for fun, just for the fun of it. Like I've always done it. Like when I go home, I can play in any team, but there's a lot of summer leagues that are there. So I always like to join for the fun of it because I mean it's soccer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't even imagine my life
No,
being
I
stuck in
I
soccer
don't
right
think
now.
so. I don't know. I really don't know why I stopped. Like I really don't know. Like anyway,
But
like
you're happy.
oh yeah,
That's all that matters. That you're happy and you just keep going, and at least you found it now.
yeah.
And so now you're gonna go to San Diego.
Gotta join that co-ed team down there.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Then I'll go play in some games and I'll come show them what's up, and we'll be on a team, and you'll be goalie, or you'll be striker.
I'll be a
You'll be
striker. I'll be a
You'll be
striker.
striker. I know you've been reading some books, and I'd love for you to share with the audience what kind of books you're reading and which one's been your favorite that you've read so far, and just what are some things about it that you've liked.
I can't really pick a favorite. Maybe I don't know if you know of this. It's a Daily Stoic. Have you read it?
I have not read it.
Okay. I'm a big fan of Stoicism, and I read a lot about the Stoics, and I most of my books are really like about personal growth or like everything is like non-fictionary, as you know. I recently read the Four Agreements, so
Book.
if you want to talk about that, I could be happy about it because it's stuck in my head. So it's a very good book, and you suggested me before I even got to that book, but then I saw it on the shelf. I was like, I feel like it's time for me to
The
buy
cover
that book.
looks
Yes,
good.
yes. Did you read the Fifth Agreement?
The Fifth Agreement?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I want to read the Mastery of Love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a small book, so it's easier to remember. It's very concisive, so I liked it. I think it's an easy read too. So I feel like anytime you feel like want to spend a few days and read it, like I feel like it's a great read.
Shout out to Don Miguel Ruiz. We're reading the Four Agreements. People just buy the book and it'll be great.
It really is a good book. What was your favorite agreement?
I'd say be impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
I think I failed in that a lot in my life, and I think
If you
that
fail, then I can't even start.
I think so. I think that now I'm doing really good with it, and I'm really happy about it. And I think that was one of the most important things. And also, not making any assumptions. I think oftentimes we make so many, even when you're just playing soccer and you're like,
It's like
I
your
think
head
that
is
team's
always like thinking and just like
I know. And you guess a formation that a team's going to play, or you go on a date with a girl and you're thinking, does she like me because of this? And then you just, we make assumptions all the time. And so, yeah, I could go on, and that book's incredible. What was your favorite?
My favorite is actually the last one. Is always do your best.
I could see it in your life. I think it's a very humble life that you've been living.
The goal.
It's amazing because everything's so simple, and I think people can take away the simplistic view of life that you have, and even the goals that you have for the future. I want to have a loving family. I want to have a good job that can provide for my family, and I want to be happy, and I want to play some Sunday league. Okay, just give it to Andrea and let him live. And so people would say, Andrea, that's not enough. People watching be like, oh, that guy could be a loser. That's not enough. They don't know you at all. And so it's just, that's how people are. And they just demand more and more and more. And when you do more, just Ronaldo, he's done everything. It's still not good enough,
Still second.
And he sucks. And the people would be like, he sucks. And so who cares? Can you just be happy for the guy of how amazing he's done? And then either it's competitive nature or it's you're being soft. So at that point, hey, society, you want to label it whatever, but then you just need to be confident in yourself that, you know what I'm doing is the right thing. And I know I just went on a little rant, but hey, society gets me like that. For your simple view on life and everything, do you try to impact other people? And which ways have you done that? And in which positive ways have you done that?
So for the longest time, I think that throughout my college career, at least, I've always wanted to bring more people to the US. I've been one of the, call them ambassadors, I think, of the agency that brought me here.
That's awesome.
Because I wanted to, show what life was over here. I wanted to show the Italian players, Italian students, how much more there was to what they knew of like both lives. So that was a little bit of my way to, I guess, influence people in a positive way. At the same time, I'm also the first member of my family that has, like a degree,
Oh wow.
just a regular degree, not even the master's. So I feel like it'll be cool maybe one day to say to my grandchildren, like, hey, how was the first one? But yeah, like it doesn't have to be that big. It could always just be impact your teammates. And I think again, what you did was an amazing job, because being thrown out there almost as like a incomer, like a new teammate, and just be the captain we were waiting for. I feel like people were looking up to you, and not because of like anything special, but because you just wanted to make sure that you almost always did like the right thing. And I think that's a great example of like as a leader. So
Well, hey, I didn't know that was going to turn to a compliment. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I try my best, and I'm always going to keep trying. But I like how you said the positivity. And back to you, it's just great how you're bringing more people from Italy to the US and say, hey, come here. Like, this is amazing over here. You guys don't know what you're missing.
I actually remember speaking to this guy. He wasn't sure if he wanted to do it. He's now playing for Inter Miami. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so he would have never done it without you.
I don't know if we can say that, but I'm happy to say that like I had a small impact in his life, maybe.
Well, you won't say it. I'll tell everyone. He brought him to Inter Miami. Let's go. Yeah. So that's incredible. That's awesome, and you should be happy about that. You should be proud of yourself. Not a lot of people go back and say, hey, I need to help out someone. And I had a time when I went to go help out a Puerto Rico player, and I brought him to California, and he went there and experienced California, and he would have never done that without soccer. And so, and I'll also not take credit. I'll be like, that guy was, I mean.
But like, yeah, why not? Like, people have always been like, nice to me, to show me things. So like, why not do the same for like others? So that's the way I see it.
Yeah, it's a big thing. I imagine family preaches that too, that so many people take care of you in the US. The least I could do is take care of them just a little.
Literally.
And so that's amazing. That's really nice of you. Well, now I want to hear what you were saving.
Okay.
And so the podcast, The Greatness Inward and Outward show, for people to show themselves, we appreciate them. We show them who they are. We inspire others. We inspire the new generation. Those watching hopefully are looking at you as a model and example. And I bring you on the show because I think that you'd be a great example for those people in any way, in your things that you don't do well and things that you do great. And so far in the podcast, I don't think that anyone's going to say you do anything bad. So I always ask, but what does greatness mean to you specifically? I know it's such a broad word, greatness, but everyone interprets it different. And that's the most intriguing part to me about the show, is that each person, I think, should strive for greatness because it's something positive. Mm-hmm. So what's your definition for it, and what do you think it is? And do you think that you portray greatness in your actions? And do you think you're great ultimately?
So to the first question, what I do think, what's the definition of greatness? I thought about it. And to me, greatness is being extremely good at ordinary things. So if you're consistently good at just the regular things of your life, of every day, if you never make the small mistakes, I think you're gonna be great. I think you are great. So that's why I don't have, or maybe I never really had like crazy dreams. I've always had like ordinary dreams. But if you're always consistent with your dreams, if you always do your best in all the little things, you're gonna be great. That's my definition of greatness. Be extremely good at the simple things, or the ordinary things.
That's awesome. I mean, I haven't heard that definition
Yeah.
ever. And so I think that's a really beautiful one because, like, even as a captain, I always try to preach the little things, being on time, wearing the right uniform.
Everything matters.
I never saw greatness that way. And so that was a little bit of an eye opener. So do you think you're great at the end of the day?
I think I'm striving to be great. I think that I always try to always do my best at every single thing. So am I great? No, but I'm striving for greatness for sure.
That's awesome. Well, audience, you heard it first. Andrea's striving to be great. I think it's so beautiful the way you worded that. I know you probably practiced that at home before you came here, but
I actually took it, I took it from well, my high school like saint was Saint John Bosco.
Yeah.
So well, I took it from
well,
church.
that's
in reality,
amazing
but
from church.
yeah.
Well, hey, that's a whole different topic, but that's amazing that, you know, it is the ordinary things are what make the foundation of someone.
If you
And
think about it, you're a soccer player. Like if you never make any mistakes, right? If you always do the right pass at the right time and you never miss a pass, you're one of the greatest.
it's Tony Kroos.
Yeah, well, it's Sergio Busquets. It's like, you know, those players that like, you know, they make the little things like seem so effortless.
Yeah, and I think it ties into life. If you can make the tiny things in life seem, you know, I saw something about, yeah, effortless, but make it that you put so much effort into it that it appears like.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I definitely see how the little things in anything you do, if it's setting up a light bulb in one of these lights, just if you know how to do that, then the light's going to turn on and it's going to shine for 50 meters away. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but that's how it just clicked in my head. But it makes so much more of an impact. The light shines all the way through for just screwing on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. I like that you're striving for greatness. I love that, in fact, and I think the audience has been appealed by your story, and they're gonna love watching it. Guys, this is the G.I.O show one more time. I'm your host Giovanni Calderon. Again, this is Andrea Bonavia. He is a graduated master's student, first time in his family. Can everyone give him an applause? I'm giving him applause. And lastly, he was a Fullerton student athlete, graduated. Now he's going to be living in San Diego, working in his job, finding fulfillment. Can he find it? That's what we're going to do next on the next show. And hopefully when you come back, I'm going to say, Andrea, are you fulfilled? Yes, G.I.O. But Andrea, seriously, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it so much. You're my brother. I can go on and on telling everyone how great you are. And, you know, I'll never forget the night that we had in this apartment. But yeah, I really do appreciate it. And you are going to be doing amazing things. I'm going to keep track of your story and I'm going to share it. Again, you could follow him on any platform. I know he's waiting to talk right now, but I'm ranting. Guys, please stay in touch with Andrea Bonavia's story. He's an excellent human being, and the love for his brother is a love that you should have for every one of your family members. I love you all. Andrea, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, and it's been a huge pleasure. I'm very happy for you, and I hope that this will actually like fulfill you even more. Oh, I hope so. I hope so. Thank you guys so much. I wish you guys the best. Have an amazing week. Love you all. Mwah from G.I.O. Peace out.